comfortable with a makeshift.
Little toss. Harris again. And that's a nice tackle by Harrison Smith, who comes up from the safety spot. They love Smith. #1 draft choice, a rookie out of Notre Dame.
Here we go. He's going to come ripping up right out here. There was not one person that we talked to on the Minnesota Vikings. There we go. He sees the man coverage.
And he goes over the middle, and it's knocked away. Good play. That's Harrison Smith, the much talked about rookie out of Notre Dame. 4th down.
Just absolutely perfect coverage that time by Harrison Smith on the big tight end. We're seeing more and more of these kind of tight ends around the league, and Jermichael Finley, I think, was a little bit right.
That's Matthew's 2nd sack tonight. And this is Harris, who somehow is able to escape, but not for very long. And he's taken down there by Greenway, and Greenway
at the 29 of Minnesota. Here comes a sack from behind, and it was a safety blitz by Harrison Smith. And the first sack of the game by the Minnesota Vikings. Starting, but he's in there now. We'll see. Saffold has been battling health issues throughout his career. So Robinson is in there. 3rd down and 4. This is 2-down territory, by the way. And this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith has a blocker in front of him. A lineman. And Harrison Smith is going to score. Everson Griffin was downfield to block for Smith. And he goes and scores. Huge play for the Vikings to seal this game.
You see right there, Anthony Barr showing that mug blitz, putting a hit on Austin Davis. And you can see Austin Davis on the ground. Didn't even see where the ball was thrown. And Harrison Smith, the preseason that he's had. But Everson Griffin, the speed to stay in front of Harrison Smith, that's what this Vikings defense is all about.
And counting under. Plenty of time for Breeze. Down the sideline and knocked away. Harrison Smith as he was trying to get the ball to Brandon Cooks.
Another nice play by Harrison Smith. They're just sitting back in cover 2. You see the reroute by the corner, gets him outside. Now the safety is responsible for this deep play, and he comes over. Nice play off those numbers. Here with 3.5 minutes left in the game.
From the 10-yard line, Ryan open, intercepted. Harrison Smith, he stayed in bounds.
And interceptions on the road. This is number 18, and he just simply tries to force this ball into Roddy White. Playing cover 2, Harrison Smith was so wide on those numbers. This was like practice for him, just running over there, get in front of this receiver, and get a huge interception to stop that drive before it ever even got started.
All right, thank you, Tracy. And the rain has pretty much subsided at the moment as the pass comes over to Starks for no gain. Wrapped up right away by Smith. Flynn on 3rd and 4. And he's picked up by Harrison Smith. Flynn's first pass of the season is intercepted. Harrison Smith, who told us he's these days been staying after practice and catching.
Here in Minneapolis, of course they're playing outside. To the flat. And Golden Tate met immediately by Josh Robinson.
Down! Ladies!
Orton with a quick crossing pattern. Little slant to Robert Woods. It should be enough for a first down at the 26-yard line. Oh, he fumbled it. Minnesota may have it. Woods lost it on the way down.
Robert Griffin has it. Slides early. Now here comes the flag. Harrison Smith hit him after he slid down.
Personal foul. 8 of 11. They bring it all against Cutler. Throws, and it's picked off. Grabbed on the play by Harrison Smith. And he'll work the other way. Rhodes a block, Greenway a block. He's got an entourage. And Cutler can't bring him down. And finally he is brought down on the play by Bushrod for Minnesota.
Well, they're just going to run the seam route to Martellus Bennett. Look at the safety. He's right there in the position. And he's got some help from the defensive end who drops in coverage. This is just a force by Jay Cutler. He's getting rushed. He just throws it up, hoping that the tight end's going to be able to make a play. That's just too easy for Hunter Smith.
Play clock at 1. Rodgers hands off to Lacy. Bounces it to the outside, but then he is tackled beautifully by Harrison Smith.
That's a great shoestring tackle.
A couple of things that Mike Zimmer said his team had to do well is number one, play tight coverage. We see that a number of times today.
2nd and 10 from the 32. That spotted dribbler. Gino, the little shovel pass. That's Jeremy Curley trying to make something out of nothing. They dump him down right at the line of scrimmage. And so Gino tries to gamble that time. And what it could have been an ugly play. Bad snap by Mangold.
Yeah, Nick Mangold on the snap. We do have a good committee of running backs.
3rd and short. Little pitch play. This is Harvin. May have gotten to the line of scrimmage. Brought down by a host of Viking defenders. And it will be 4th and 2.
Remember, they ran the ball with some of the reverse action in the Monday night game. Well, Michael James, the ex-49er in the backfield. As that pass is intercepted. It was batted and picked off by Harrison Smith, who nearly had one earlier. This time maintains control, his 5th interception of the season.
Yeah, he can't catch the one that's thrown right to him, but he can do the deflection and recover and make the interception.
I didn't want that was too easy. He wanted to make it a little more difficult.
That's a heck of a play, trying to drive Jarvis Landry across the 4.
Forte reversing his field, and he's going to lose yardage.
We saw some of this at the end of the half. Now we're seeing it to start this 3rd.
It's Riddick. Theo Riddick fights his way into Vikings territory. The ball came loose. Vikings think they have it. They do. Riddick battling for yardage.
Give it up to Woodhead, and nothing there. Woodhead snuffed out by Harrison Smith on the play. It's a loss of 4.
Well, Harrison plays like a linebacker a lot. He's very close to the line of scrimmage on this, and very.
His condition with San Diego defensively, he will not return. Rivers, incomplete, trying to slip it in to Keenan Allen, but he and Phillips were very tight on their routes.
And that's because Harrison Smith, as this is that Hairston?
It is.
Man.
Broncos from the 34. They go shotgun. They go Manning. They go overthrow. They go interception. Harrison Smith, the safety.
Peyton feeling hot and feeling really good about that connection with Demaryius Thomas. And you see him just...
Stafford is thrown to the ground by Harrison Smith on a safety blitz.
And there's the pressure that I was talking about from this defense. They know that they're in a pass mentality right now. Harrison Smith, right here in the picture, just going to run unscathed through this.
They'll run it to Thomas Rawls, and he is buried. Taken down by Harrison Smith. He was out last week versus Atlanta, and boy, are they happy to have him back.
Well, Kevin, he's a difference maker, and he's an old school guy. You see him, see the...
Eli sent a picture home last night, said, I don't understand why we ever left.
3rd and 1. Intercepted at the 35-yard line. Harrison Smith down the sideline to the end zone. Touchdown. Gets healthy tonight, and into the end zone he goes.
Just completely mistimed it with Ruben Randall. I'm not sure why Ruben Randall needed to hesitate on that play. Eli saw he had the inside working against the cornerback. He stopped. Harrison Smith did not, and there you go. Tonight, for the New York Giants, there's one guy playing football.
Wind chill factor at the start of the game was -25. It's 2nd down and 5. out of the pistol for Wilson, who hands the ball to Christian Michael, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Harrison Smith is there for the tackle. We go to Michelle. Wilson, protection beginning to break down now. It floats and is knocked away. Baldwin was there, had to wait for it at the goal line.
Okun got knocked back just a little bit into Russell Wilson, and Al, you called it perfectly. This ball floated. If it didn't float, it was a touchdown. You had Baldwin behind everybody on that play, and Russell Wilson, who has tremendous arm strength. Maybe it was the cold, maybe it was the contact in the pocket.
To get open for the quick slant.
Well-decorated receiver, Derrick Henry, in the game now on a terrific play by Chad Greenway. And a loss, just flew in there and made the definitive tackle.
Cam Newton is hit. He held on to it amazingly, but Harrison Smith on a safety blitz.
So a good day running the football. Kudos to the offensive line, Ryan Matthews.
Matthews trying to turn the corner and unable to do so. Is that ball loose?
Sure looked like it might have come out. Question is, was he down?
And it is Minnesota football. They better get cleaned up with Ryan Matthews.
It's Xavier Rhodes, as he's making the play, he's able to get enough of the ball, and Ryan Matthews just trying to stay inbounds, but you just got to hang on to it. And now the Vikings down plenty. They come back out on the field offensively.
Palmer's dragged down again. Harrison Smith.
Well, it's another way to bring a four-man pressure. They show six-man look, but they only bring four guys. One of those four is Harrison Smith off the edge. You see two drop out, and they just have no answer.
From the 14-yard line. Elliott, and he's going to get taken down, and Harrison Smith in the backfield.
Well, you're not going to stop Ezekiel Elliott unless you're willing to take some chances. Watch this, the safety coming.
Norcross, Georgia. Breeze looking deep, fires deep, and the catch not made by Thomas. He was blasted by Harrison Smith, the outstanding sixth-year safety man out of Notre Dame.
He read that deep cross all the way. They have 5 Pro Bowl players on their defense, and they're led by.
We've got Evans in a slot this time, and into traffic. It's batted into the air, and Harrison Smith intercepts it. Well, Jameis threw back to Evans into triple coverage.
This play, first of all, his pre-snap read is this guy. Evans at 6'5" on 6-foot Eric Kendricks right there. Now the problem is, in our next shot, you're going to see that Jameis Winston's eyes never come off of Evans, so that moves Sendejo, Harrison Smith, everybody there, because they're not stretched down the field because of the 12th defender, which is the back line of the end zone, and they get a great break on the ball.
And the ball is loose. And able to cover it up is Zach Zenner. Or are they saying incomplete pass?
Incomplete.
Wow.
Yeah, this is, I think, Tom, from my vantage point, it's the correct call. Watch his hand come forward.
First down, Lions with the ball. 10:38 to go in the game, and Detroit a 7-point lead. Riddick dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Harrison Smith.
Well, the former Notre Dame linebacker shows up and plays linebacker on this play. First of all,
Tariq Cohen in the backfield. They love to throw it to him. He slipped down as he made the catch, and the Vikings ready for him. Drive that started inside their own 20. They'll have to change that history if they're going to win it in regulation. Trubisky throws an interception. Harrison Smith trying to spoil the debut for these Chicago Bear fans with the big pick, and they are in field goal range after the turnover.
Plasters to his man and makes a great interception. Trubisky, who motioned Miller.
The guys that you're playing with.
So another third down try for Hundley, and he is hit from behind and hit hard by Harrison Smith again. Smith got him earlier along with Robinson. And now Smith a second time, his first 2 sacks of this year.
Well, they bring an extra.
Third down and 2. And a one-handed interception by Harrison Smith. Run out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
I'm not sure if Hundley ever saw Smith or not. This is a ball you had to kind of lay, but he tried to drive it. Harrison Smith gets on it. Now it's a matter of whether or not he actually secured the catch. I think they'll stick with Hundley because of everything else that's happening with his team.
Rolling right and throwing down the field. That was nearly caught by Jordy Nelson. They're saying incomplete.
Campanaro is back on the field for the Ravens. From the shotgun, Flacco. Flip out to the near side. Smelled out in a hurry by the Baltimore defense. At the defense with Crowell alongside. And Kaiser for Crowell out of the backfield. Trying to slip a tackle and can't at the 35-yard line. Harrison Smith wraps him up. Cleveland with just 2 total yards this quarter. That pass is incomplete. Near midfield, intended for the tight end, Seth DeVal.
Fake the run. Goff, pressure, lets it fly. Going deep for Woods. Triple coverage, and Woods made a heck of a play. That had no shot and should have been picked, but Woods saved it.
Had it the whole way. But look at Goff and the shot he takes from Kendricks. Right down the middle as he releases it. And because of that pressure, he couldn't step into it, Greg. He couldn't get enough on it. But even so, look at Harrison Smith float under it like a center fielder and almost come down with the ball.
We've seen both teams now have a wide receiver save a pick, and there Woods does a great job, because if he's not there raking at Harrison Smith.
And last one good for 23. This one incomplete in the end zone for the tight end Darren Fells. It was there, and Fells couldn't pull it in.
Well, Fells is a big target, 6'7", 270 pounds. Try to body up Harrison Smith, and you know, if you're able to put that ball on him.
The Bengals. Dalton, pump, throw it underneath, drilled. Tyler Croft with Harrison Smith lurking. That's a loss of 5.
It's a tight end screen. And
Vikings showed blitz and back off. Hundley keeps it and gets taken down by Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith probably, in terms of not making the Pro Bowl, maybe the most grievous mistake or error or whatever you want. 8 first downs allowed in the last 44 attempts. And that play clock is all the way down. They just do get it off. And the pass is intercepted by Smith at the 5-yard line. Picking up some blocking as well. And brings it back out to the 23-yard line.
They're going to get just man coverage here on this route, and he's going to undercut it. And that's what makes him the best safety in football right now. He is tremendous as a pass defender against those tight ends and people coming down the middle, and maybe even better as a run defender up around the line of scrimmage.
So in 4th and 1, Hundley tries to keep it alive and has that picked at the 48-yard line by Smith.
Trubisky over the middle. It's caught, and now it's loose in the end zone. Incomplete pass is the call. Incomplete.
And third down and more than 7. They've converted only one of their last 20. Blitz again. Sacked by Harrison Smith.
See these guys here, they're all coming. There's not enough blockers to pick it up, and Harrison Smith has a free run.
Well, this is now the edge of field goal range for Lutz.
They might have shut him down.
Yeah, just too tight. But Pettis has really stepped up. Here they'll run. Morris. Oh, Harrison Smith. I mean, he almost took the pitch What a play by the All-Pro safety.
Watch number 22 on the line of scrimmage. You guys know I call him the fixer. When Mike Zimmer needs something to happen.
Blitz coming. Everybody. Garoppolo buried. Harrison Smith. A biggie.
So what do you need on a big play if you're a defensive player and a defensive fan of Minnesota? You call the fixer. Number 22, Harrison Smith. Garoppolo get the ball out of his hands a little more.
Vikings have 3 sacks in the game. 4-man rush here. Garoppolo over the middle. Intercepted! Harrison Smith! Harrison Smith will seal the deal for Minnesota. Eight tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for...
Up top of your screen, free safety.
Oh, they've got him now. The ball's out. Yeah, the ball in an awkward position, and it was recovered, though.
Oh, Buffalo got it back.
Only one Bill player here right there, and he was able to win the battle. That's Kroom, who caught a touchdown in that first half.
Well, it's an outstanding pass rush by everyone at Minnesota. Get Smith, Gideon.
That's Smith, who really was the one who jarred it loose, but Kroom alertly there.
I could feel Greg Joseph's exhale from here when that went through the upright.
Here's a toss to Josh Adams. It is well played by Minnesota. 4th down. Anthony Barr was out there. He made the stop. And a little misdirection does not fool Mike Zimmer's defense.
No, it's a defense that pursues fast. To Neil Hunter, he's able to race him to the...
Over the middle, Jeffrey can't hang on, and it's incomplete. And you're looking at a 58-yard try from this spot. If Doug Peterson goes that route, it's 4th down.
It's time for him to make a play.
He's looking, he's hit at the 1-yard line. Harrison Smith with the safety blitz. And the Vikings with their 3rd sack of the game.
You just can't get in 3rd and long situations. They were aware of this, and if you're going to put your quarterback in a drop back situation with all this pressure coming, it's got to come out fast. Mike Zimmer draws up.
They have 1. Man, Eddie! Well, they just totally gotten away from the run game. And that's intercepted on a tip ball by Harrison Smith. Down the sideline, inside the 15, and dropped inside the 10. His fingertips and into the hands of the All-Pro Harrison Smith.
So we talk about receivers knowing each other. Let's talk about a cornerback and safety and how important they know each other. Xavier Rhodes knows he has Harrison Smith over the top, is able to sink underneath, not jump up on any route underneath, gives the assist in the tip volleyball set to Harrison Smith, who's in great position and always seems to be around the ball. But I got to tell you, communication in the back end, people don't ever talk about that.
On the same side, too deep zone.
Under pressure, intercepted at the 32 by Harrison Smith. Stephen Weatherly was the guy who put the pressure on Breeze, and that is the first interception of the season for Drew Brees.
Weatherly's going to come off the edge, but because they flashed that pressure inside from Ben Gideon, all the lines slid down to the inside, and nobody picked up Weatherly. And the one thing Mike Zimmer said is everybody's afraid to go after Drew Brees.
Jordan Howard is the running back now. Give it to him, and he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Harrison Smith, as good a safety as there is in the league, penetrates, comes through, knocks him down, lost it 2, 3rd and 7.
Harrison Smith, one of those guys you just always have to account for. Coming up into this gap right here, no blocker there whatsoever. And he's so good at disguising. It's just very what Trubisky has done in the last 6 games, not so much tonight, but in the last 6 games, just the steady improvement that we've seen.
Going.
Whoop.
Escapes the first guy. The ball is out. The ball is loose. And the Vikings are there and have it.
And this is going to set Minnesota up inside the 30-yard line. Rhodes was there. And Jaleel Johnson comes in and was the guy.
1st and 10. And Blunt will lose yardage. Harrison Smith cheating a little coming. A chunk of 7 on 1st down. Get the sack. Center. Get another one. No, on 2nd down, he'll lose yardage. Harrison Smith is back there.
One of the things that you have to worry about when you do a perimeter-based run game is setting the edge. And there's Harrison Smith right on the left side, outside of number 80.
It'll be a long offseason for Kirk Cousins and company.
Cunningham right side. Harrison Smith makes the play. And the clock will wind down.
And Gage makes a reception, and he's out of bounds. It was a high throw, and Harrison Smith delivered the hit.
Well, actually, this is a missed opportunity by Matt Ryan. You see Smith with the hit. He wouldn't come down inbound.
An execution of the tempo by Rodgers. He said that would be a key. He's got time again. Allison, who had the touchdown, gets a 1st down, and looks like the ball came out, and the Vikings have it on the end of the play. It was stolen away by Harrison Smith. Valdez-Scantling scampering to the other side of the field. It'll lose yardage.
We talked about the improvement in the athleticism on the Packers defense, but this Vikings defense has always had it. And you don't want to get caught in this situation running laterally, because the pursuit by that defense, they're going to get you eventually.
Carr. And it's intercepted by Harrison Smith. Still on his feet. And Smith goes down at the 30 as Carr overthrew his receiver by a wide margin. And on the turnover, the Vikings in Raider territory will have a 1st down.
They're just trying to run the stick out here. This is just a stick. You see it from 87, and they're trying to.
Blitz coming. Everyone's coming. Moore goes down, lost the ball, and he got it back, but look how far back he is now. All of a sudden, this turns into a really long field goal.
Big DK Metcalf at the top of your screen. Russell Wilson dancing in the pocket and then guns it over the middle of the Lockett, low and incomplete. Harrison Smith there defensively.
That's just a really good play.
He has 9 touchdowns, and 4 of them came in the first meeting between these two teams this year. Harrison Smith once more charging hard from a strong safety spot.
Well, this is where Mike Zimmer is really good. Finding your playmakers, get them in position to make the play. Now watch here at the beginning. There's a little hesitation right there, making sure he does his job first before he goes to make a play. That was a problem with the Vikings. Zim talked to us about. The rule is, do your job, make the play.
3rd down, Blau, and is it a catch? Waits a challenge. He is 6 of 9 now this season. This was ruled a completed pass and then overturned in replay. This game by no means is over. It's the largest deficit the Lions have faced this year, and they haven't proven anything that they're going to get back in it. Well, so much for that. There's a pick by Harrison Smith on the field.
The ruling on the field is an interception. 1st down, Minnesota.
There's Jones working up top. Xavier Rhodes is in coverage, and Harrison Smith does what he does best, playing a little bit of center field, and it looks like Xavier Rhodes is nicked up again. But just a poorly thrown ball, ill-advised ball, rolling to your left, throwing it back across your body. The pressure initially forced by Kendricks to get Blau out of that pocket.
2nd and 3, and it's Gordon again. Quick move inside, lost the football. It is on the ground at about the 12-yard line. Vikings say they have it, and they do.
And this was the #1 thing that Anthony Lynn talked to us about. He said, listen, we do a lot of things well as a football team, but they're -10 in turnover ratio. Defensively, they're not taking the ball away enough, and offensively, too many times have they given the other team good field position because of turnovers. This time the Vikings are going to take over inside the red zone down by the 11-yard line.
Daniil Hunter with the hit that forced the ball free. You're right, Trent.
You can't try and force it down the field just because you need to get that first down yardage. You have to also protect the football and understand where you are.
Rivers running out of time, now puts it up in the air. It's intercepted at midfield. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
Well, floating it down the middle of the field isn't the way to get it done.
390! You're hot! I'm going to go with Jackson. And Jackson is met. Spins, trying to get first down yardage, and he'll lose a yard on the play. Eric Kendricks, first one to hit him.
And as I thought, they're going to go for it on fourth down here.
Harrison Smith, now a 5-time Pro Bowler. 2nd and 7. Tackled for a loss by the guy we just talked about, Harrison Smith.
And notice where he came from. He came from the safety position of depth. He wasn't around the line. Watch him come all the way down. And that safety is not accounted for in the run blocking scheme.
That interception that he threw was his first in his last 6 games against the Vikings. And this is a strike to Adams as the ball came out at the end there. And that is Eric Kendricks again. Let's see. Does he have firm control and then make a football move, John Perry?
He's got all 3. This is a catch and a fumble.
And what a great job by Harrison Smith to knock it out.
I mean, just a tremendous job by Smith. Again, and that 2 safety high look. Ball is caught in front of him. It's okay. Come up and make a play. Watch the right hand come in and go straight for the ball. That's not luck. That's drill work and training.
And once again, the Colts set up shop deep in Vikings territory. And Jonathan Taylor is stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Ryan Tannehill under center. On a play fake. Tannehill looking end zone for Westbrook. Akina picked off Harrison Smith. And he's going to take it out of his own end zone. That does not appear to be a good move as he's tackled at the 13.
There on first down, throw it away. Get that ball out. You've got a guy in deep center field, and you took too long reading it. So Harrison Smith has a chance to watch the quarterback's eyes and get underneath that pass.
24th career interception for Smith. He's 7th in franchise history. And for Tannehill, he had gone 100. Play number 10 on this drive. And it is Khalif Raymond trying to get him in space, nowhere to go. Harrison Smith spins him down.
Look at go. Rodgers sees some pressure, rolls away, throwing it deep, going for it. Oh, incomplete. It went back to the same guy, Equanimeous St. Brown. Harrison Smith was there. He had another chance to make that catch for a touchdown, and the Vikings hold on fourth.
Yeah, Harrison Smith did not play this ball well. He was moving up.
Daniel 1st and 10. Denver the blocking downfield, and that was picked up by Smith. He got the ball. A 3rd interception thrown by Lion quarterbacks today. Harrison Smith comes up with his 2nd interception of the season. And the 3rd interception by the Vikings defense today.
Well, the Vikings came into this game with only 3 interceptions on the season. And as you said, Kevin, now they have 3 just today. Harrison Smith.
2nd down and 10. Foles has an excellent pocket to work with. It is tipped, juggled, and intercepted. Harrison Smith off of Anthony Miller's hands, and we're trading turnovers early on here in Chicago.
Well, you just cannot have that. You say you want to have some energy when you come into this game. Anthony Miller's going to come 4 straight losses before our bye.
3rd and 7. Here's Foles, another clean pocket across the middle, and it's knocked away. Allen Robinson had the opportunity. Another big play for Harrison Smith. Perfect timing for the defender, and it's 4th down.
That ball has to be thrown on a line. It's thrown with too much arc, and that allows Harrison Smith the opportunity to come back and make the plays. Going to his half safety, he reads that deep dagger coming across the field, and the ball hangs just a
Panthers with 3 runs of at least 10 yards from 3 different backs. during the first half as Davis spins, forced back, stays on his feet, and then Harrison Smith makes the tackle. There is a flag thrown at the end of the play. Bridgewater and the Panthers lead this game by 11. Loss of a yard on first down. Cannon bottled up.
Glennon knocked loose. And still not a connection today between Glennon and Chark. And it's fourth down.
Well, that ball was there. Chark sat down in the window. You just have to complete this catch right here. Understand you're going to...
Pressure coming, and down goes Glennon. And this time, Harrison Smith did get to him on the blitz with Hercules Mataafa.
Well, right off the edge, they bring Harrison Smith. They get pressure up the middle, and finally, you start seeing pressure from the Vikings.
Vikings drop back into coverage. Glennon intercepted. Harrison Smith, his fourth pick of the season, and he gets the Vikings the ball back in Jacksonville territory. Fourth takeaway for the Minnesota D.
They show pressure. They have the double A gap blitz. They show the look. You see the linebackers mugged up in the A gap.
3rd and 10, Vikings bring 5. Stafford well protected. That ball gets intercepted. It's Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith down here. He's got his eyes on Stafford here the entire time. Really, Stafford was staring Jones down. Smith, a nice break on that ball, step in front of it.
Is a kind of a foundational left tackle. Do we go with Penei Sewell to protect Joe Burrow?
Burrow under pressure now and can't get away. Harrison Smith, the veteran safety, was in there first.
Yeah, but I'm going to put that one on Samaje Perine. He's a guy who's also good. We talked about Joe Mixon. He's also good in protection, right? You can't just be a runner and a receiver. You got to be good in pass pro, and he's got to do a better job here against Harrison Smith.
From the 43 on 4th down, pocket collapsing, Wilson airing it deep, got a man open in the end zone, and it's knocked away. Intended for Penny Hart, ended up in the lap, conferring in the end zone. Did he pick it? Either way, it's going to be Minnesota ball. That's deflected around, bounced off his face mask, and ended up in the lap of Harrison Smith.
See if we get the right angle here. Okay, ball still hasn't touched the ground.
So if Hart's face mask goes out of our frame, hard to tell with that. Ball looked like it was in the right corner of the shot, just moving ever so slightly.
And this ball, Russell Wilson known for that moon ball. That ball almost touched the ceiling of the building here, Kev. That thing was just way too high.
Dylan's done a great job filling in. He's been a little slow, had a few runs here and there. See if they can get him going on this drive.
Harrison Smith on the blitz. Dillon trying to pick him up. Can't do it. And Smith gets home. Sheldon Richardson was there too. And Elton Jenkins is hurt. The left tackle.
You're going to see Elton Jenkins right here. He's going to set back. Not sure what happened to him. He kind of got rolled up. Hope he's okay.
Niners must get to the 36 for a first down as Garoppolo's pass is picked off by Harrison Smith. An early takeaway for this Vikings defense.
Lined up, don't get a penalty here.
Lions needing a touchdown. Where do they go here? Goff hit on the release to the end zone, batted down, and nearly picked. Boy, St. Brown almost playing defense.
Yeah, first time Mike Zimmer has brought pressure off the edge. He brings Harrison Smith on a blitz. Watch him come right off the edge there. Almost gets home to Goff. Hits him as he's...
Big pieces to this defense. On third down, Roethlisberger is sacked by Harrison Smith. They bring Harrison Smith. They bring 4 weak, and there's only 3 blockers. And so Ben's got to know the ball's got to come out. He never sees Harrison Smith, who... End zone, Freiermuth, incomplete. Vikings win it. Minnesota brings a 5-man rush, and Roethlisberger with pressure really does all he can. I mean, he lays this as good as he could possibly put it for Freiermuth to have a chance. I mean, a good route by Freiermuth, and this ball is perfect. And you know the windows are tight. You know you're going to take a hit, but he gave him a chance. And Freiermuth just not able to hang on to it as Harrison Smith comes in and knocks it out.
Made the Pro Bowl in 2018. Now Mooney, they're really working him, and he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Anthony Barr leading the way for Minnesota. First down and goal at the 7. Montgomery. This time he'll get nothing. Dalvin Tomlinson with the tackle.
Great pressure by those guys up front. Armand Watts, Dalvin Tomlinson moving that line of scrimmage back. You see, they run those zone run schemes, man.
He's got one shot now to try to get a chunk play, and he can be tackled in bounds. He's got one shot at it.
Pressure coming, though. He's in trouble. Going to throw it deep. Cobb is there with Harrison Smith, and Harrison Smith is there for the interception.
He took a big hit here at the end from from Zadarius Smith, his old teammate there, came and gave him a good. You can see Smith just go up and high point that ball over the top of Randall Cobb. As I was saying, he had Cobb open on the scramble. With the pressure, the ball just kind of floated.
On 3rd and 4, 5-man pressure. Fields looks, throws end zone for Mooney, and it's broken up. Harrison Smith, the safety.
Well, Mooney coming out of the slot right here and getting out to the edge, and you know what? He is right there. I mean, look at the movement at the top of that route, and Harrison understands he's beat. When you get beat like that, go play the hands of the wide receiver. Turn, sprint, and see if you can break that up, and it's a great reaction.
On first down, Bridgewater over the middle, bobbled, and then a diving attempt at an interception, and Harrison Smith, we'll see if it hit the turf.
Jalen Waddle lets it get to his body. Rolling on the field is an interception by the defense. First down. Oh. They cradled it. Both Eric Kendricks and Smith.
The question is, did it hit the ground just before that? It ruled an interception. All turnovers are reviewed. We're also in the final 2 minutes.
So now both
right there,
Smith and Kendricks. It's hard to tell if they got their hands up under the football before it touched the ground. Whoa, that's close. Boy, that is close. And then from there, it never did touch after that. It hits off Kendrick's helmet.
Right, the question is, did it touch earlier?
Right, Harrison corrals it there. It's really right at this point.
3rd down and 10. Bridgewater moving to his left. He throws.
All right, let's see. Working against Cameron Dantzler. And Harrison Smith makes the catch.
Only 1 foot. Left foot down. Right foot did not.
Correct. Nice call. Nice call. Needs a quick breather to get back in there and apply more pressure.
3rd down and 15. Bridgewater's pass complete. And then Waddle loses the football, and it's recovered by Bynum of the Vikings. Waddle picked up the first down and then turned it over.
And that's Chandon Sullivan. Kenny, you mentioned he's having a good game, and Harrison Smith wanted to get his paws on the football, make one of those plays. He finally does. He has the interception now. He has a forced fumble in this game. He said it was a matter of time before he finally started making some of those types of plays we're used to him seeing.
Murray's throwing deep. Robbie Anderson way short and intercepted. Harrison Smith down to the 31 of Arizona. That instead of a real throw.
Well, anytime you're trying to run deep vertical routes, it always comes down to pressure first. You can see the pocket collapse. Now you can't step into that throw. You can't get enough on it. You're trying to hit Robbie Anderson on the go. He's a 4-3 guy, and here comes Harrison Smith leaving coverage on the other side of the football field on DeAndre Hopkins.
Heineke throws middle high, and it's intercepted. Harrison Smith with the takeaway. And Smith inside the 20. Inside the 15, Vikings will take over.
Watch the inside right here, 93, just pressing, and that gets you to the point where you don't step into the throw. You get off your back foot a little bit, you don't drive the football, it sails on you. And when that ball sails on you, bad things happen. There's Harrison Smith, the 11-year veteran, making the play.
It's a whole different scenario.
Bills have had a couple big third down pickups in this second half. Allen triggers, Diggs, broken up by Harrison Smith. Vikings set to get the ball back within 4.
Fourth down.
I don't know if this was more Harrison Smith or a drop by Stephon Diggs. We'll see right here. Has him turned around a little bit.
Dak has hit his last 8 passes. And look at Harrison Smith come up and smell that one.
Ty Johnson now in there, the 4th-year running back out of Maryland, former Detroit Lion. White looking, throws, popped up in the air, and intercepted. Off the deflection, Harrison Smith trying to loop to the outside. Smith reverses field, looking for blockers. The Jets trying to get over there, and Smith hands it off. Patrick Peterson now out of bounds, and Minnesota takes over. 7 in turnover differential this season.
Right there, a really nice play by the rookie. By number 24, Cameron Bynum, their safety, and their other safety, his partner in crime, Harrison Smith, on the spot, as he's been so often throughout his NFL career with Minnesota. On the tip drill, something you work on every day as a defensive back. Ball's in the air, tip drill, go get it.
Garrett Wilson lined up in single coverage against Duke Shelley. 25 seconds left. White throws, incomplete. Wilson, the intended receiver. Harrison Smith over there defensively for Minnesota. 23 seconds to go.
He sees it the whole way, does Harrison Smith, and he comes.
Play clock dwindling down. He'll get it off. Young being tracked down. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by Wonnum. DJ Wonnum rumbling inside the 20. He'll go all the way to the house. And a sudden change of momentum. Minnesota has tied it, and they're an extra point from taking the lead.
We talked about wanting to try to threaten downfield. Here's the hard part. You got all this pressure.
Young is sacked. Caleb Evans and Harrison Smith both there.
We talked about the various disguises the Vikings have used, and in this case, it finally gets to him. Harrison
looking for the stop here. They get their first win of the year. Empty set. Young sacked from behind, and that'll do it. It's Harrison Smith again.
They give these all-up looks, and it's hard for the offensive line and the quarterback to determine who's coming, who's not. In this case, Ike Ekwonu's got to find a way of kicking well enough to get up and around. And Bryce Young hanging at the back of the pocket.
Not sure, how long it's going to hold up, and he'll be able to stay on the field.
Back to him. Able to weave through traffic. Ball comes out. Vikings have it, and right now they're calling it Vikings ball. The question is, was McCaffrey down when the ball came out?
Looked to me like it was a fumble. I believe it was Cameron Bynum. Right there, sure was. 24 who comes in. Ball is out before he hits the ground. It's a great job defensively after the interception by Kirk Cousins to get the ball right back to the offense.
Bynum forced it. Lowry recovered.
Well, those are some of the opportunities.
Off to throw. Got rid of it just before the pressure got home, and Laporta couldn't hang on as Harrison Smith chased him.
Giants empty the backfield on 4th down. 4th and 8. Jones fires, picked off in the end zone. Harrison Smith with his 35th career interception. The 6-time Pro Bowler comes up with the...
Purdy, deflected, incomplete. Smith was on Jennings, but the ball may have ricocheted at the line of scrimmage. And on downs, the Viking defense holds. Here's that previous play defensively.
The previous play, Trent Williams is going to block out, and then you're going to see Williams come in free. It's Van Ginkel on the edge that's going to be the one that tips the ball, but the pressure makes Purdy throw the ball quickly. And then watch Van Ginkel on Williams. He's able to get a hand on it.
Dontavian Wicks on the move. Messy pocket. Receiver. Caught by Dobbs down the middle. And the decorated veteran Harrison Smith was there to grab him. Gain of 16 on 1st and 10. And they're down to the Vikings.
This is what's called a big 3rd down for the Jets. Rodgers, an old friend, gets him. Harrison Smith.
Who's coming? Who do I block? Breece Hall has to step inside. Aaron Rodgers has to know he's responsible for that safety on the backside. Doesn't.
Sean McVay said they got to finish drives. From the 16. Nice play there. That's Harrison Smith.
First down, fumble the football. Not a clean exchange. And on the bounce, looks like the Vikings have it. The pile does keep going. Minnesota had hands on it first, and they do. The Vikings come up with the turnover. Camus Grugier-Hill after the missed exchange between the quarterback and the running back. It's right in the breadbasket. Taylor didn't wrap it up. It came free and in the scrum. Vikings ball. 3rd and 2. Flacco do play action here. Looking in the middle, in traffic, incomplete, trying to get it to Pittman. Harrison Smith buzzing out of the safety spot. Pittman, who is playing through pain, a back that's been bothering him all season.
Too much. This is your 1st down right here. That was an easy one.
No Taylor. Sherman remains the back. Just 3 rush. Flacco throws in traffic. Incomplete. With a big hit, but no flag. And Minnesota will take over at the 40-yard line. Chris talked about them before. The 2 veterans. One's 34, one's...
Looks like it's going to be a happy ending for these Minnesota Viking fans that have made the trek. One last gasp here for Will Levis and company as they begin at their own 16-yard line. Down 10, Levis going to take his shot here, throwing into triple coverage, and it is picked by Harrison Smith. First turnover by Levis and Tennessee. And the post-game celebration beginning on that Viking sideline.
Yeah. He wants you to have to throw the ball into the end zone. Do not give up rushing touchdowns. They've already given up 1.
Will it be 2? Robinson is hit in the backfield by Harrison Smith. 13 years, and he just keeps on playing at a Pro Bowl level.
They're second.
Again, look how wide Van Ginkel is. Byron Murphy, the corner, he does a great job taking on the tight end and forcing that ball up inside.
Allows him a lot of flexibility.
Four-man rush. Williams steps up and the pass broken up. Smith flashed in there and made the play. Shaq Griffin in coverage on Adunze.
Well, he's lucky that that wasn't intercepted by Harrison Smith. Veteran player, 35 years old. He sees it the entire way. Watch, he's just reading Caleb Williams' eyes. He's anticipating the throw, jumps in front of it, just not.
Third down and 16. Williams trying to make something happen, jumping around, going backward and just up for grabs. Flag flies and the pass incomplete.
They got Caleb down. He took a big time hit at the end of that play.
Here's the hit at the end of that play.
That was a good clean tackle, and I just saw the head snap right there.
And thus, they trail. Goff in his own end zone. Deep shot downfield. His coverage down there is intercepted by Harrison Smith. So Smith kept drifting back. The deep ball for Jameson Williams.
This is just a launched ball down the field because you're going to try and take a shot with your speedster. But Jameson Williams either lost the ball or slowed down. He wasn't even in contention for that ball, and